Hello everyone, welcome to metaphysicmedia.com. So today's topic is from research from Daniel Pinchbeck, which in his book is Notes from the Edge Times and the Post-Carbon Civilization. So this is kind of interesting topic, um, whereas what kind of laws are we going to have as technology grows? So before I get started, I'll mention the book and how you can buy it. You can go to metaphysicmedia.com/books/notes from the edge times. If you go there, you can get the book and read a little bit about it. Anyway, let's get started. What will become of us if a major disaster occurs? Daniel Pinchbeck gives us some good information that he covers in depth in his book Notes from the Edge Times, and tells us what might happen during the post-carbon civilization. Daniel Pinchbeck comes out with his fresh and innovative assumptions of the future society from an engaging and theoretical perspective. One may argue that Pinchbeck's newfangled ideas about the transition of the contemporary society to a post-carbon civilization or a society is incongruous. But a closer look at the ideas that he has developed in his book, Notes from the Edge Times, would affirm the theoretical and logical ground of his ideas. Notes from the Edge Times collects Pinchbeck's most insightful and recent columns, articles, and essays accounting the hopes, nightmares, and signs of breakthrough that mark our present era. It gleans essays written in the 3.5 years since the release of his 2012 The Return of Quetzalcoatl, which is another book that at some point I'm going to read because that one's really interesting. I like ancient history. The book covers a wide range of subjects, but in the core of these subjects lies some basic concerns about our civilization and society. The crisis of species and extinction, global financial collapses, and visionary and hypothetical idea of harmonizing all these apparent crises. To shed a better light on the book Notes from the Edge Times, we may quote from Pinchbeck's introductory note that his book is an exploration of the perils and the potentials of our time. Daniel Pinchbeck observes that our future society will be dominated by the internet and technology, and the consequent social changes will be massively influenced by these new technologies. Pinchbeck describes the social change as an upsurge that could bring an evolution to society. In his book Notes from the Edge Times, Pinchbeck does more than evaluating contemporary questions and conflicts that may be coming through, or conflicts that may come to being during a post-carbon civilization. He provides fresh ideas for living more consciously. He also tries to guide us to construct a more enlightened future, and even though the world around us is surrounded with profound environmental, social, and spiritual challenges. What roles does technology such as Google and Facebook have on our post-carbon civilization? Indicating to a fact that people are getting skeptical about the role of internet and technology, for example about the role of Facebook or Google, Pinchbeck asserts that in these days everything is undergoing an upsurge of deterioration by the growing commercialization process of the modern society. However, Daniel Pinchbeck also hints at some positive peripheries of the crisis. He affirms that he does believe that the social media and technology could play a crucial role in the transition of reducing global inequality, and it will possibly lead us into a post-carbon civilization. Drawing example from the history, he confirms the importance of media. The history of economic systems shows that the economy was always connected to media. For instance, Roman Empire would not be developed without a written code of laws and accounting systems. Likewise, modern nations, liberal democracy or representational democracy, could not be developed without the printing press, which was one of the biggest technologies ever created for the human species to date. Pinchbeck argues, like the written code for printing press, internet could develop a new formation of our society, a formation that could be more cooperative, more collective, and more participatory. Now with the internet, ideas can be transferred immediately. How will our warring nature and the need for violence eventually lead to the potential for a post-carbon civilization? Other perils of our society indicated by Pinchbeck are a permanent war culture which has been casually accepted by most Americans, the continuing governmental secrecy about the study of the mind and behavioral control techniques, and the challenge of doing something definitive about the monetary system, the financial crisis, and unemployment. Moreover, Daniel Pinchbeck views humanity as a whole, a single planetary superorganism that is in a symbiotic relationship to the ecology. He also indicates that the human beings have changed and evolved into a cooperative, symbiotic, collaborative form, primitive, competitive, aggressive dominators. Daniel Pinchbeck goes deep into this idea in his book Notes from the Edge Times. This evolutionary aspect of humans is striking, as it suggests that the corporations that are often destructive or negative might be under a similar evolutionary process. Therefore, the organization may evolve into a collective body of humanity. Referring to Barbara Marx Hubbard, Daniel Pinchbeck states that species move from one inertia of an old habit or belief to awaken their capacity to direct their own evolution. Barbara Marx Hubbard termed it the conscious evolution, which could take place socially, culturally, or even biologically. This is just one of the shocking truths that could lead us into a dangerous post-carbon civilization. What changes does Daniel Pinchbeck think is needed to avoid some type of post-carbon civilization? How will reading his book Notes from the Edge Times help us achieve these goals? Pinchbeck traces sparks of conscious evolution in the modern people, which is based on the individual sovereignty and autonomy, along with the interdependent symbiosis. In this context, anarchism is a very useful philosophy for us to look at right now. He argues that the government cannot really solve the modern problems that the modern people are facing on the planet at the moment. Therefore, he concludes that we need a leaderless revolution, and this might be a form of anarchism that could ensure a constant change or a constant transformation, so that it would be more probable of creating cooperative structures that would work together to evolve rapidly. He reveals his concept in depth in his book Notes from the Edge Times, and shows us how to will and help stop this post-carbon civilization threat. Pinchbeck utters great despair about the callousness of the contemporary generation to the crisis. According to him, we are all trapped in a culture of distraction. The youth are engrossed in video games, media, and a lot of indoctrinations. They are in a roundabout way aiding the crisis. To help avoid the post-carbon civilization crisis, we must be able to learn how to slow down and not to give in to frantic society that we live in. We simply need to take the time to meditate and look into ourselves for change. Pinchbeck demonstrates his novelty as a social critic in Notes from the Edge Times. He emphasizes that there is no authority or experts to make changes for humanity, but it is up to each individual. No single institution or government or corporation can make the requisite level of evolution that has to take place to protect our future species. Evolutions take place for a species that are in a level of competence, intelligence, and creativity to experience and survive metamorphosis. So that ends the research that Daniel Pinchbeck has done and written in his book. Once again, you can buy the book at metaphysicmedia.com/books/notes-the-edge-times. And you can go to his website, evolver.net, and get some more information on there. So this is pretty good research here. This is an interesting book if you're interested in that sort of thing. Um, so anyway, we can talk about more on our Twitch stream as we're streaming video games. So join me there.